them into this scenario and try to address this. And let me add more to this. You see, in FIFA, a lot of fraudulent deals were going on, to the extent that even the 2022 soccer fiesta to be hosted by Qatar, they collected under table, they collected $150 million from them before allotting that to them, before giving them that chance to host. A lot of money. And this has been the practice over there. Some even they cited about 80 million for another country. Getting bribe from them, 80 million before giving them the slot. So looking at this, let us discuss and raise the issues as to how all this scandal that we have before us is concerned. So what is your take? What is your take? Yes. Who is ready? Isaiah.
Yeah. I think Infantino used the ontology to do this job because he's not looking at the end of the result, because though the committee did their investigations and they found out the problem, but actually they don't have the capacity or they don't have those requirements to continue the job. So it is very prudent to replace them with a competent company who can do that, because it is different in managing and investigation is two things. So though they can investigate, they can't manage. So
you have realized that you are a brother to Gianni. You are a brother to Gianni. That is why you are saying that. If you are the FIFA president.
So investigation is different from.
I'm coming. Yeah. A whole ethical committee has been set up. They were not from the body. They were aligned from different parts of the world, highly distinguished personalities, and they were assembled to look into these matters. And you come and you sack them. What shows that you are going to do something better over there? What shows?
Maybe a different company too can get in and saw that even the investigation they did, there are some lapses. You see, so if it happens like that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Isaiah. Let's move to another person because of our time. Thank you. 2 hours a day, I can no problem, but your time and I can't even 30 minutes spare.
Papa, yes, please, can you enlarge the screen to where the cap is, the down part?
Oh, okay, you want me? Okay, I understand.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Perfect.
All right. Good.
I'm sorry. Okay. Good. Go, move on. Yes. Anybody at all apart from Oh, nobody is coming up. Benjamin Kwashi. Banjilo, how do you see this?
I'm still thinking about it. All along, I've been trained to be to work on the people of the church. This one is outside the church, and I'm still thinking about it.
But it's an issue that can happen anywhere.
Yeah.
It's an issue that can happen anywhere. You understand?
Abbas Obaya always says she's thinking about it. I want to use a strategy today.
Oh. Andy,
once it comes to issue of ethics, no matter what the field or the category, because they are moral rights, we need to do the right thing. And look at FIFA, no. I think it was right based on the fact that in ethics, no, mostly in organizations, if you are not even sure of an outcome of a decision, you can set another committee based on your power that you have as a president. Even in accounting, your auditors, external ones and internal ones. So based on that, no, you as the CEO and as a boss, you make your decisions from both parties. I'm sure Ebiana Infantino himself, probably ethics committee in Ukraine, they were affiliated to the scandal. So by his power, no, he thought say obe create and also obe sake omo. It's dicey in such a situation because say they now can you don't even know is a committee now so setting to look into the system. How visible are they going to be? It is all blended all the any to get the best out of the whole issue. But for the scandal, it was
okay. So if somebody comes out and say that I think Infantino would want to cover Sepp Blatter so that Sepp Blatter will not be implicated, what will be your take?
For that one, no, for that one, the main say or cover because obe cover na nka case no kran ko nhwem, like because Sepp Blatter time na sa issues we nyina no happen here like taking the bribe from Katani, a whole lot of scandals, But from another point of view, there's a stand or set a standard for people to know, say, okay, or buy any corruption, but why be shishima and I say, why be ama corruption about out for public to know probably what is happening.
Perfect. Let's look at the next one. I think the other one, Obaya read it. Erica, please read this one for us, so that we also consider the issues over here. The next one.
An 8-story in Bangladesh collapsed and 100 lives were lost in the incident.
1,100.
1,100, lives were lost in the incident. An investigation was conducted. It was found out that the edifice was built on a pond. No proper documentation and license were acquired before putting up the building. Additional stories were added.
Three additional, yeah.
3 additional stories were added to the original drawings. Companies in the edifice were offshoot institutions for Wall Street. Offshoot institution for Wall Street institutions. That was why protocols were not followed, so that the projects will be completed quick for huge sums of monies.
Perfect. This is a true story. All the things I'm bringing up, they are all true stories. In Bangladesh, this took place. And the investigation that was conducted, these issues came up. That, the companies that the building will be given to or allotted to were all companies that were so much connected to the Wall Street, printing of uniforms, printing of secretariat materials and all that. So because of that, they bypass a lot of protocols so that the building will be completed. Even the building was completed 3 months earlier. 3 months earlier, before the original one. 3 months earlier, before the original time to be time for the completion. So they did that so that they can have enough monies to, from the Wall Street, because if you are connected to the Wall Street, you know what you gain. And as it was read, 3 additional stories were added to the main drawing. So you can 8 stories, maybe 8 story, and a 3. Into originally no, now you 5 story. But essence it can be pabi 19 no. Yeni kitty, no see 8. And a dear no ankasa investigation, almost uncle see what baby a pond, na pond walk, and a pond no cry maybe assassin to solidify or to beef up the ground or the foundation and Kosui. At the end of the day, a dynamic collapse. It collapsed in 1100. 1,100 people died. Ethical issues here. Akwai se wakot ayi can say asori awudie ni makota asase na amukosi dan. Say bia abruche Australia, US, it will be somewhat difficult to bypass. I don't know. But any human institution, you see, any human institution, anything can happen. But in Ghana, you say Ghana or overnight, we bet me drawings overnight, and the yaku and the ready, and so on and so forth. So, with this before you, as a leader, how are you going to solve, or how are you going to go about it? Beverly.
Papa, through the investigations, if I should come out with any fact that proves that this really happened, I would go according to the laws of the country. So if I have to take them to court and go through that channel.
Okay. So looking at this, do you think that they went with deontological views to get this project done, or it was a teleological ethical system they used? Any other? Any other? Bema,
Ontological.
Bema,
okay, Papa, can I come in?
But you will be on Kasa in Kasa. I never was here. Let me put some order. Good. Now coming up to me.
Papa, I'm looking at this case and then it looked like in deontological, it looked like it was wrong. I think it's very wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know whether they intentionally give them the land near the pond or they chose to build it near the pond.
Sure. Yes. Story no end because I call online and a story that way.
Yeah.
Now and casa, but maybe and only the available piece of land.
Piece of land.
You understand?
Okay.
That is yes. That was the available piece of land. But only me by arguing say land no say what pond so say any pond so no. If you are nuntina drawings, instead of 8 stories, we are see, drawings no ma de 5. So into drawings na kasa de 5. And almost the 3 additional story here, dear ben. Stories here, then. A car. So, so, Anna on my second vent in near man.
Well, I think
Papa,
deontologically, it is wrong. And say when we talk about deontological, like they will not even accept, they will not even agree for you to do this. You know, practically, try say use the theological ethics. Like, okay, let's try and let's see the outcome. And in the end, you know, they succeeded that, and it will look like they are genius. They've done something they've been able to do something exceptional. However, it didn't happen like that. In the end, you know, the worst happened. And you know, and also the end, and also no, whether we are using deontological or theological, no, either of them, it is wrong, and they must be dealt with according to what the law or the.
Thank you very much. Amen.
Yeah, Papa, Mpachen said, my name is Mr. Donfe. I think so, yeah, engineer say, minister buildings are complete me up by but Massemini, and yeah, because of the mechanic. So all the two sessions, they broke the law, the ontological and teleology. And the main problem here was the factor on the structure engineering. Now, say, Oshe Edina. Almost in structural engineers, you know, the program was for 5 buildings. When they had wanted to make it 8, instead of them going back to see the structure, they didn't do that, and then they went ahead and pushed the 3. That is why it collapsed. So both sides, it's ethically wrong. And now can be my clear example be, but just there are 2 buildings on circle. The first one is the post office. And the other one is also the building close to Ucha or Donna, the Echo Akran.
Ghana Commercial Bank.
Good. So Obia with money project in the year. Edu baby, you know. Na sadam you na esenke. And now at all. So what they did was they had to bring in new structure engineers to reinforce the foundations. And sana dan you know, and this wow, wouldn't mo bia so shady o ko say a dan high and this I said a bathroom. So they look at the end results now, no more pure musical quickly, and they didn't consider the structure engineering, what will happen at the long run. So both sections are totally wrong. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You see, you would think that this thing happened in another institution. But let me tell you, it happens all the time with us. Sometimes because of what, if you want personal judgment, personal judgment. Actually, biafo se wasanse kakra bi akakoto no. Ebia drawings about drawings and say a 3-story. Now so there be foundation, say no year foundation no pa no there make me 5 or make me 4. So and so architect no aka kire wo say me hwe asase ye wa ha bia I think it should be 3 or 2 stories. So all these things, we should be aware of them. So it's like maybe a benya we children too. I you see that oh yes, stores ni bibra. You benya sikapa. You benya a lot of profit. So you have a crankam. While saying swa, be a foundation, you know, and now say the soil texture over there, you know, is not appropriate for such. All right. Let's move on. Let's move on to the next ethical issue. This thing happened in Fox News Media House. Who had not read anything? Is it Beblin? Emmanuel? Beblin, can you be clear?
Fox News Media House was involved with discrimination and sexual harassment. Each other week, there were stories of sexual misconduct. The issues were settled in court of justice. At the end of the day, 75,000 million was disbursed. The ladies involved got 20 million and males involved had the rest of the monies. What are the views here?
All right. As I told you, all the things I'm bringing out, they are all true because I didn't hear, you know, a public idea, and to be and friend to baby, they are all out there. So, ubitimi crown, so I check. But the issue here is this: if there has been sexual misconduct or sexual harassment in a setup in the institution where you are, now, minimum say, mainly or usually, no, it is the women that will be reporting. Because meantime, who's or maybe, Nana, I just say, oh, mommy, different dimension. Me who's or maybe, I can report to say, this lady is sexually harassing me. A man who report to, okay. It's a mayor for report to say me. Adia ko law court. After you could be a senior, afobua bem, a bimbia bem. Sike womwa na SSC de settle. Say ma omamoko report yenye 75 million. At the end of the day, no, the ladies who reported the whole thing, no, had 20 million. The rest, about how many million? Papa don't fair. How many millions it is left? How many $1 million left?
Yeah, 55.
You know what I say? 55 went to the males, and the female, no, omonunya 20. Okay, what are the ethical issues here? The part of Junihuye na yenshe.
Yes. Well, before I can, if it's me, before I can say something, I want to know the ratio of men to women, because it's likely that the money is shared according to a certain ratio and the men involved in the case are more than the women. But without that clear situation, to me, it's hard for me to say that, oh, the money is not shared well.
No, this is not about, okay, yes, what you are saying is true, but it is the last resort in the sense that we know that it is ladies that will report sexual harassment. So if at the end of the day, those who reported the issue, the ladies that reported, were rather at fault, therefore, they couldn't get anything, and those that they were blaming rather had the monies.
What cases?
And yes, sexual harassment, via na report to Yebeka say sexual harassment. So we say, and yes, what say will be a harassment. Then I could do court. I also say what can one and kesen ka wini. But at the end of the day, when people are the tone sumu say wa haraze ono. Onu mo ne be wini. Have you considered that case? Nana?
Yes, sir.
Papa, wait there. When I'm in TV, that crowd big, but
America, how they see America. Google.
Yes, but because Zoom said, like, OBTS kind of super big time because it's so unusual for the men to win in this case. So,
but it happened. The men won, and they had the chunk of the money.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the way I look at the case, the men who have the share of the money, I don't think they were the ones the case was reported against. Probably the case is like a class action. maybe when the women came out with their accusation against maybe whoever is doing the thing, then they will have to look for many people to suggest the idea that this thing is actually happening in the organization. As we know in our country, where the areas we live here, men can also be report a case of sexual harassment against their fellow men or against women, which is possible. So to me, it doesn't look to me like these men who had the money were the accused, but they are also part of the harassed people. That was why I was trying to find out, were they more than the ladies? That's where they took more of the money, or just they use it is a kind of a discrimination when they gave the ladies little and they took more. That was where I was looking at it from.
Oh, okay. You see, I gave just a summary of the case over because I can't write all. In fact, the issue has to do with the ladies in the company reporting of sexual harassment and not the men.
Not the men.
No.
Papa.
Yes, Bra Isaiah, or who? Yeah, I saw Bra Isaiah's hand.
Yeah. Papa, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Obi Kasa. Bra Isaiah, then after that, the next person.
Sorry, okay. But I think this story, it is the ladies who reported the case when the issue backfired. So the ladies reported the case in the view that the court will compensate them. But in this case, after thorough investigation, they know that it was the women who have been, how do you call it? They have been seducing the men in the company. So upon all this, some of the men also came out that this is what has happened. And through the investigation, when they find a company, the men have to be compensated. I think even the men were even fewer than the ladies. This case, I think the men were fewer than the ladies. So the way women went there in the view that they will get
money
compensation. Yeah. And the ontological issue, they were not, they were looking at this is the ontological issue because they were looking at the end of result, but the end result didn't go well for them.
Didn't favor them. Okay. Yeah. It's also possible. It's also possible. Somebody wanted to add his voice or her, but I think not could be super so
Papa, sorry.
Yes, sir.
So, Papa, what I was thinking about is mostly things do happen when it goes to court and then they get into it, they find out maybe a false allegation. Mostly it happens. I remember in Australia, I think last year, something like this happened concerning a sexual harassment. A mechanic and a client, a woman. The woman, after the mechanic has fixed the car, the woman hugged the mechanic. And the mechanic was like, he hugged, everything was okay. I think 2 days, the lady reported the guy has harassed her with sexual. They jailed the guy. The guy went on jail for 1 year. It was a lawyer who went through, and then they were able to find out with the CCTV camera. The CCTV camera even shows that it was the lady who even hugged the guy. So something like it was the lady who hugged the guy, not the guy hugging the lady. And the lady turned around, so the court compensated the guy.
Yes.
So something like this. Thank you, Papa.
Yeah, thank you very much, brother. Sorry. Thank you.
Yeah, Papa. Papa, in some of these cases, the man had the biggest side of the cake because after investigation, they saw that they have been deformation. So deformation comes with cost. And maybe that is why
defamation of character is also on the law books, so you can be compensated.
Yeah, but so because of this, station, okay, there was one popular, and I'm saying the investment.
Yeah.
Unique, so and it brought their scale down until they have to find people to rebuild their audienceship again. And all this thing contribute to that.
That you follow this, yeah. You've been in America for long and you know this case. Thank you very much. Now, Crawford, let's move on to maybe the last one. The last one, yes. The largest taxi company in the world without a taxi, Uber, had some issues with sexual harassment in the institution. Passengers complain of being assaulted by drivers. Some drivers also complain of not having their privacy because wherever they go, they are tracked. Wherever they go, they are tracked by their location software technology, which detects the whereabouts of the driver or of the drivers. What about this? What are the ethical issues over here? Matt is asking me pain. As some of your kinds is here, Matt pain. I can't say the true stories in one never because I for the public, you know, to me and coffee BBI and yeah, dear, to me and yes. Please, have you heard about this? This thing before?
No.
In London, it happened over there, and it nearly collapsed the Uber business in London. US also be a baby. Nipa bi ko baby na kwan so o makugina na ampeso mo ye niema.
Papa, please, is there any particular side that you've been getting this from?
All the, I mean, are you asking of the instances I'm giving?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, they are on the net. So you just, I mean, if I know about some of the issues, for instance, this Uber thing. So
you just Google Fox sexual scandal, then you just get it.
Oh yeah, and the FIFA thing, yeah. You Google that. But I know some of them are just to go.
Is there? It's 2016. Yeah.
Sure. And yet, me no, I won't do that because it's for public consumption. Good. So this issue, what are the ethical issues here? We are no. Maybe after Hano, let me see. Okay, there is nothing, but I have one. Time also so but yes, I have one in my head. Oh, 3 minutes more. No.
But this one,
sure.
A passenger complaint of being assaulted by driver is an ethical issue. Also, the other part which talks about the driver's privacy, deontologically, if that is the policy or the rule, then the driver's privacy is being encroached upon. And when you look at it at the other end, theologically, the end result will rather benefit the driver or protect the passengers that they are carrying. If something happened and the driver is brought missing, maybe somebody took the cab and this person is a robber, they got to a stage, they stop you, take your car and go away.
Braben, because of time, we are left with just 2 minutes. Okay. You see, you are being employed in a company, like you are about to be employed as, the Constitution governing all of us. So if one way or the other, you are tracked by our Constitution, one way or the other, or the Constitution got its long hand and arrest you one way or the other, do you turn around to say that I don't have my privacy and da 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 da? Do you have to say that? Uber no, wouldn't say Uber for they track their vehicles wherever they go. They won't say car near there, but also about the joining company no one. Anytime you describe as the largest company in the world, taxi company in the world, without what? taxi. Uber company nanka so only taxi biya. But a young crofwa no matter to taxis and they join the because of the software technology. Timidi de a young juma things. You understand my point? It's what them Anna untimi nkase mabemu no asore ne mrano ana juma ne mrano me fenye juma. And I say encroaching on my privacy. And him say they are what the point and I say when you have the constitution, the manual of order of the Presbyterian Church of Ghana, even the convention. Who say there are a lot of conventions. I know they are not written down. You are affected by them. You are affected by them. So I think we'll end here. Oh, it's 7. My boss, my boss of Crabia, where I will do the dada. Enti, me pamicho, ye di besi ha. Me mama mo, maya de papa. God bless you for your commitment, your contribution. I love the way we have had this. They say, when it's already actually when you say one participate in class, not just as some who participate in so, not just when you say, oh, what would them work? So please, thank you very much, and God bless you. God bless you. You know, Papa, Royal Papa.
Eja, yamin show. Good. Yeah, that's all, Papa. And that's it. I was young for only by against yeah, professor for ethics, Dr.
Papa, minyanya Dr. Brame Brekraya.
Catch Obi said, Obi Bombardiana put me a coursework a crowd, doctoral level, as I said, Yadanasi. Now, you're shedding cry, because and yet, a friend saying, Rumpa and Colari cry, and here that's the passer. When I made yes, sir. I was young. Yamia, you be Sabri, Yabema, Yam Papa, Ben Kwashi, at the Papasi, at the Amay, the Via Eradidia Virginia at first. Papa Ben Kwashi.
Abba, on behalf of my colleagues, we want to thank you so much. Last week, I had the opportunity of thanking you, and I mentioned that you always bring some kind of vim and increase our spirit when you come on board. And that same thing has exhibited itself again this morning. I don't know if the organizers are looking forward bringing you on board again, but we'll make sure that in the coming semesters too, we have you on board. Thank you so much, Papa.
Tell me, we have named the semester deontology.
And now the course ethics has a new name.
Deontology.
The students doesn't mention ethics, they mention deontology. Thank you so much, Papa.
Thank you so very much. I salute you, my boss, Papa Clark of General Assembly.
Wonderful.
Yes, sir. Papa deontology.
Thank you so very much. It's been wonderful.
For your deontological argument.
It's full of fun. It's full of fun. Thank you so much. And you hear from us, Papa.
Yeah, that's great. Papa Clark, Papa Miss
Yo, and the Chiabeshi Abio, why?
That's the Papa.
Chiamama never seen a funina.
Pacho Mayes and Pacho Mefro near being Comobi, Miss Rao.
Yo, that's it. Thank you. Bye.
All right. So let me Let me go off this Facebook.